Spring football, finishing up. We finished up first off with the Illinois win, which is a good thing. I think we had more points on the scoreboard than our opponent. A lot of good things happened during the spring. Going to spring ball, wanting to improve each guy individually in a lot of ways. We played a lot of freshmen last year. We knew that the guys needed, an off-season program to get, bigger, stronger, faster, all of that. But just experience of being a football player, of slowing it down a little bit and really detailing exactly what we wanted each one of our players to do, especially the young guys. Felt like we were able to do that. Our numbers were down a little bit. We missed a lot of guys throughout spring ball. Offensive side, Ricky Smalling and was nursing an injury. Mike Epstein missed all of the work. On the defensive side, Jamal Milan missed time. Tony Adams missed time. Stanley Green, which allowed a lot of the other younger players to get a good look. So we feel like we know the team a lot better, which we wanted to do. Putting in a new offense. We're excited about, going in exactly what that would look like. I think you got a chance at the end last Saturday, to see what it can be and some of the potential that we have on that side of the football. So pleased with what we did throughout the spring. We know more, but there are still positions that, we need to make decisions on once we get our entire group together. Competition is still there. We don't name a lot of people, a lot of starters, throughout the spring. We have a starting rotation, and the guys that went through spring ball, of course, will be at the top of it, but they know they have to compete with the rest of the guys that we have coming in a little bit later on. Recruiting is going well. It has been. We have an excellent staff of recruiters, excellent staff of coaches, and part of coaching, of course, is to be able to sell our university to different young men, and they're doing a good job of that. We're going to transition out of spring ball right now in a couple weeks we'll be going out for spring recruiting, getting ready for the next recruiting class to come in. I'll take your questions.
Well, last year you had to play so many freshmen. I know these guys got to get here and compete, but what do you imagine for the class coming in?
Well, you're right. Last year, as we went out, as we recruited, hey, there's a great opportunity for you to play early on. That happened. But that would be our spiel throughout, our time. We're saying the same thing for this class. Of course, the 2018 class is coming in right now. A lot of those guys will have an opportunity to play also. But it's not hot air. I mean, we're on record for what we did this year. So the competition for the players, the young players that play, they know that that's the case. So it should just lead to better competition once training camp gets here. But this class we really like a lot. We need some of them to step up and be who we think they are. And we think that'll be the case.
A question about some players individually. It looked like you used Reams more as a wide receiver than a tight end some, or maybe all the time for all I know, since I didn't get to watch all practices. Okay. But does he give you more blocking out there? I mean, and how did Justice Williams work out, too, in terms of the player switches? And Smith?
Okay. Caleb Raines first. Last year, we played him at the tight end position and also at wide receiver late. As a tight end, his strong suit would be as probably more of a pass-catching tight end. Not exactly Josh Whitman blocking, anything like that. Probably more as a pass. But as a wide receiver, of course, there's a pretty good matchup outside. But as a blocker, we should gain some ground there. A lot has to do with how they look at him. But we think, of course, he can do both, and we're still kind of deciding exactly what he'll do, exactly what his role will be at what position in the fall. Justice Williams made the switch well, got a lot of reps. Another big body, 230-pound wide receiver, look at it that way. Thought he caught the ball fairly well. That's one of the reasons why we moved him over. Just, one day he went out, running some scout team, getting some scout team work as a wide receiver, and could catch the ball and look like, he belonged at that position. And in high school, Justice played wide receiver also. So we'll take a long look at both of those players.
For Cam Thomas specifically, what's it going to take for him the rest of the summer and leading up to the season to make sure that he is the starting quarterback on opening day?
Cam realizes there's competition coming. We had one scholarship quarterback on our roster throughout spring football, and we'll have 4+ in the fall. So competition is coming. He realizes that, but he has to look at it. How does he improve? He knows our offense a lot better than everybody coming in. You look at Cam's body, we'll continue to talk to him about adding muscle. Our quarterbacks, we're not a drop-back offense. Our quarterbacks will run the football and need to be able to take licks, take hits. So that'll be a big part of what we'll ask him to do. But I thought he picked up the offense well. He's a bright guy. He picked up the offense well. Has a strong arm. We'll continue, of course, to develop him as a quarterback thrower, that is.
Lovie, can you update us on the guys that were held out for disciplinary reasons or injured? Are all of those guys on track?
Well, if there's a disciplinary reason, that we'll keep that in-house. All of the guys are on track. The next time we get together as a football team, if something changes where somebody won't be with us anymore, we'll let you know that. But all guys are on track, whether it's injury or some of the off-the-field things, to be with us back then. When you're dealing with young people, sometimes there are some things you have to take away a little bit to give them time to concentrate on certain things. That's going on, and since the beginning of time, that it's been that way, and that'll never end. But for the most part, our guys do what they're supposed to do always.
What kind of idea do you have for balancing out carries between Bonner and Corbin, and then also how do you see Norwood also fitting into that backup position?
Well, you can't have too many running backs. We classify ourselves as a running football team. Mike Epstein would say that he needs to get into that conversation also. But our plan is, if we feel like a guy can help us win games and he brings something to the table, we're going to play him. They're different running backs. Reggie Corbin, you got a chance to see exactly what he brings. He can make you miss in the open field. We're a spread offense. We want to get guys in a one-on-one situation with the defender. Reggie's going to win most of those. There's a place for him in our offense. Rayvon Bonner, a bit more size. He can run in between the tackles. He can also make you miss. So we'll find a place for him too. And Mike Epstein was our featured back last year. So you like to have those type of issues that you deal with a little bit. And Jakari Norwood stepped in, was outstanding in off-season workouts before we got to spring ball, and he's learning. He'll bring something, with his speed to the table also.
I wanted to ask you about Corey Patterson. Obviously, he's got some good recruiting ties, but what did you see in him as a coach? And I know relationships are big to you. It sounds like that's really important to him.
Yes.
Do you see a little of yourself in him?
Man, I don't know exactly who I am as I look that way, Shannon. How do I answer that? If I say something good about him, what am I saying about myself? Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying, Shannon. Corey Patterson, just as a man, yeah. When you have a conversation with him, you see something right there. He's genuine as he talks to you. He has a history. We all have a history. And his history has been that as a mentor, as an outstanding coach, personable guy. But he's a detailed guy. I had never worked with him. I'm talking about staff-wise. So what I've seen is a guy that has embraced his role as the leader of our tight ends here. And, yeah, the relationship you have off the field helps an awful lot. But, we have a new offense coming in, and he has really spent a lot of time with Coach Smith getting that down, and he's doing a good job. Seeing growth, of course, from like all of our coaches, seeing growth it better be all of us. We see growth from the start until the end of spring practice, and that is exactly what has happened. As a recruiter, we expected, good things. A guy that knows the St. Louis area an awful lot, and all the things we talked about. He should be a good recruiter, whatever area we put him into, and he just won't be in St. Louis alone.
Well, you have a couple commitments in the class of 2019, and I'm wondering, as you go to the road, you maybe didn't have that to sell before. How does that change what happens in the next couple months in the evaluation period, and just with this class, what do you think's changed for you guys?
Well, change, I think people have had more time to see exactly who we are. We know what the record says. That's where we are right now. But, looking ahead, I think people look into the future a little bit. They see the way we're trending. It does help a little bit. And you have to talk probably more with the guys that have come on board with us this early on the reasons why they've decided to make, that type of commitment. But, as we talk about the reasons why, we kind of know the reasons why you should like the University of Illinois. Coaching staff, we're talking about about them. Offensive guy, you should be excited about the new offense that we're going to have, but upgraded facilities. Have y'all seen that construction zone going on? That means an awful lot to the guys too. So I think everything that we're pushing right now, the players kind of see a little bit. And nowadays with social media, they all talk, they know each other, and they want to help the University of Illinois get back on top. So we have a little bit of break. Get a chance to spend a whole lot of time together. I can't wait for a training camp. I really mean that. I say that and I say you start laughing right away. Training camp will be here before you know it a little bit. There's a lot of work we can get done in between. I can't wait to see our group together. I mentioned a lot of the guys that we've had, that have been out, that's injured. They all are on track. There are no issues with any of our injured players, so they should be good to go. And to see this football team together, I just think we're headed in the right direction.
Based on that, Joey Bose, what kind of impact have you seen in your program with Joey, and especially with these guys who are becoming sophomores?
Every time I talk about our program, it's the same message a little bit. Joey Bose and the rest of the the strength and conditioning staff, they do a great job. And now it's full, once you get into spring football, they take a back seat, and the coaches, of course, move to the forefront. Now coaches take, the back seat a little bit, and they get a chance to get their hands on our guys, daily. We can gain an awful lot right now. And we're dealing with this many young football players that are just getting into lifting and seeing what eating right, nutrition, and all those things do for you. It's exciting to see them grow up that way. But Joe and his crew do a great job. We are this past week we had the high school coaches, clinic, Coaches Association clinic here in Champaign. So we got a chance to spend a lot of time with them. We owe so much to, I got a chance to talk about my high school coach, and it seemed like everybody that's in football getting ready to have an NFL draft coming up. When they talk about what coaches had the most impact on them, most of us talk about our high school coach an awful lot. So for us, we just want to be involved with them as much as we possibly can. Also this week, this Friday, we get a chance to go up to Phillips High School, who, won the state championship this past week. Get a chance to kind of go up there and talk a little football into the Chicago area as much as anything. We get a chance to talk to all the high school coaches up there. Our football team today also, we try to bring in as many, guys as possible to talk to them on someone that might interest them. Lovie Smith, who's the head of the NFL Coaches Players Association, had a chance to speak with our team today. Guys really got a lot out of it. We had to kind of cut it off there for them to get to class. But so anyway, it's just kind of good in off season to be able to look at other things instead of just playing football.